Okay, what's going on, guys? This is PM. I have a review battle for you guys against this guy named the ShadyFire of the Smogon Battle Finder, and this guy did bring a kind of a mixed RUU team, but the Pokemon that he brought really weren't too bad, and it really did not change the quality of this battle at all. So anyway, I know that he probably does not want to take a Flubbit, so I go for the U-turn, which is pretty nice, and he does go into his Cofagrigus, so this means free rocks for me because Cofagrigus pretty much has nothing on my Swampert, unless he has like HP Grass, which would be pretty weird. But I do have a lot of special defensive. I have a lot of special defensive investment, so I know I can take a Shadow Ball. But he actually goes for the Trick Room, which is a little weird because he's running some offensive Cofagrigus. So I know that I can take a Shadow Ball, and if he sets up, I can just go for the Roar. So he doesn't end up going for the Roar, and that is pretty. He does end up going for the nasty plot, so I can go for the roll, which is pretty awesome. So I know that he's probably not going to go for the Giga Drain because that would probably be too obvious. So I stay and go for the Earthquake, and Roselia does a pretty bad defense, and because of the Trick Room, I am able to outspeed and take out the Roselia. So now he brings out the Magnum, Machamp, and I'm specially offensive, so don't take the dynamic punch as well as the stereotypical physically defensive Swampert. But fortunately enough, I hit through my Machamp. Don't get a burn. It would have been nice, but I really don't care about that. It's lucky enough to hit through Confusion. You can go back a few battles where I actually hit myself in Confusion like, I don't know, like maybe like 6 or 5 times. Like that was pretty crazy. But anyway, I'm going to predict another Dynamic Punch, and he's going to predict another Scald. So we're both going to go into our Slowbros. We have some nice, sexy Slowbro action right now, but my Slowbro does not carry the Toxic, so I cannot really do anything to the Slowbro. I really don't want to Calm Mind in this thing's face just because that would be really boring and sully to watch. So I'm going to go out into Over the Hedge, my Shaymin, and he actually goes for the Trick Room again. So I guess this guy is running a sort of Trick Room team, I guess, but he doesn't really have too many Trick Room sweepers, so maybe you should get one of those on his team. But anyway, I know I can hit him with a Seed Flare pretty hard. I know that he knows that as well. So I actually go for the Leech Seed, predicting the switch into Magneton, which is pretty awesome. And, recovery is always good, especially on a Pokemon. Any Pokemon, and now I think that this guy might have HP Fire because, Magnet Pull, you trap in the Seal type. So I go into my Swampert. He actually goes with Hidden Power, and this Hidden Power does a lot of damage. So I know this is not Hidden Power Fire, and it's neutral, so it has to be Hidden Power Ice, just because that would make sense on a Magneton. And now I'm going to switch out, predicting him to predict my Earthquake and go into Slowbro. So I actually go into pull a double switch into my Shaymin, which works really well. And now I know that he probably might predict a Leech Seed, and he really doesn't want to get predicted like this all over the place, so he probably might just stay in. And I thought that he would do that too, so I go for the Seed Flare, and this will obviously destroy the Slowbro, except what? He lives with like -1 HP, and that kind of made me upset because I thought my Shaymin could have a little bit more power than that, but I guess Slowbro is just too much of a monster. So now I go for the Leech Seed, predicting a switch, and kind of hoping that the Leech Seed would take him out because, I mean, look how low that HP is, but he got just enough lefties that he's going to be able to survive this Leech Seed with like maybe -2 HP, -3, I'm not quite sure, but anyway, these Psychics are doing jack shit, so I really don't mind taking the extra damage, and, that's a dead Slowbro, just wait till Hidoruma comes out, it'll just wreck shit, pretty much. But anyway, he goes out into his Victini, and, Victini is a big threat. I do have the, Slowbro, but I just want to make sure if this guy's choice, he might go for the Fusion Bolt, so I just want to go into my Swampert just to be safe, and he does go for the V-Grade, but my Swampert is at pretty low HP. I am specially defensive, so that will take out my Swampert without a doubt, but I do have Hitmontop, and is a pretty nice Pokemon to go into, as he is Life Orb, so I'm thinking he might have the Zen Headbutt. So let's go into Hitmontop, get the Intimidate off, and I can go for the Sucker Punch, hopefully live a Zen Headbutt, I'm not quite sure, but the Sucker Punch does not take him out. I see he goes for the V-Grade again, which is a little weird play on my part. I would have probably switched out, but I really can't speak for another player. But he's at a point where if he switches out, he's gonna basically die from the entry hazard, so he pretty much has to stay in. And I probably should have gone for the Rapid Spin, because getting the Rapid Spin KO, that would have been so awesome. I'm really like punching myself right now. I should have gone for the rapid spin kill. That would have been so awesome. But anyway, he goes into his Cofagrigus. I don't have the Toxic. I actually carry the rest, so I have to get out of there. Go into my Porygon 2, which is like the awesome, specially defensive Pokemon in UU. It is better than Chansey in my opinion, because I think Porygon 2 can just take on so many more threats than Chansey. You know, Chansey can't take on like Calm Mind, Chandelure. And, you know, I mean, Bolt Beam is pretty awesome, but he's going to predict the Toxic and go into his Magneton. I'm just going to stay in. It was kind of stupid, because if he stayed in and Thunderbolted, he probably could have taken me out, because, you know, Bolt Beam on Magneton doesn't do anything, doesn't do any damage. Like, Magneton just loves any balls with Bolt Beam. But regardless, I'm kind of rambling right now, but I go for the Thunderbolt on the Cofagrigus. I do get a critical hit, which sucks, but just look at that damage from HP Fighting. Like, I could easily sell out this Cofagrigus any day of the week, so there's really... The crit just literally sped up the process. Like, I have recovered, like, every single Porygon 2, and, you know, this Cofagrigus really does not have anything on my Porygon 2, just because it is a monster, and, I mean, it can take on so much stuff. Even in OU, this thing does work. It walls Heatran. It can wall Dragonite to an extent. You know, Trace, I used to like Download more, but Trace is such a good ability if you use it correctly. But I'm kind of rambling again. But anyway, this guy is dying. He's going to set up Trick Room. It's really not doing too much, because he lacks a sweeper, as I said before. And, I mean, if he had a sleeper, his team could probably be a big threat, but he doesn't have a really good Trick Room sleeper. It really won't do too well. I mean, the Victini is kind of good in the Trick Room, but I would like something like an Escavalier, something like that, and Marowak. That would be pretty awesome. But anyway, he goes into the what's it called? The Machamp, right? And he goes for the Substitute, which is pretty awesome, because they get the Intimidate off, so this Dynamic Punch won't be doing too much to my entire team, but he does get a crit, which probably didn't matter, just because my champ got that big power. But anyway, I'm going to my Slow-Mo, my Slowbro, and I know he can even take paybacks from this thing, and maybe if he's running the Ice Punch and Bullet Punch set instead of like the Ice Punch payback set, I'll be in a great position. So he does go for the Dynamic Punch, which probably means that he does not carry the payback, which is even better for my Slowbro. But I'm looking at a pretty nice spot, but I think that he wants to switch out, because Trick Room is still up, and I think that he has a Slowbro right now. So I go into my Shaymin. I'm just like, hold up. He only has 2 Pokemon left, and I know for a fact that Magneton and Machamp are one of them. So Slowbro obviously died a minute ago. So what am I doing? So anyway, I make a kind of a bad prediction there, kind of thinking that the Pokemon was alive when it was actually fainted a long time ago. But anyway, I know that he has HP Ice, so I go into my Darmanitan, my MMG, so I know I can take one of those hits, and I can pretty much wreck his entire team with the Flibit, so that's exactly what my Darmanitan is going to do. Darmanitan with a Rapid Spinner is a pretty big threat to any team. I mean, Choice Scarf Darmanitan got that big power, and I do run Adamant just because, you know, I love just raw power. Get hit with all of that. And hope you guys enjoyed this battle. That will be the game. So this is PM and deuces.